Puppies are about 7.5 weeks old now, so they're still not quite to the crate training stage, but they're coming out an awful lot to do their business. In fact, if we take a look at Simon here, he is definitely doing his business, and the others are sniffing around. There goes Etta. Little circling pattern before she decides that's the spot. So this is actually like a precursor to the crate training. They're in the pen during most of the day, but I take them out probably 4, 5, 6 times during the day. It's still kind of early in the morning, and their mother Lizzie is sleeping in a little bit. So it's really very interesting that her sister, Bootsy, has kind of come in as a surrogate mother, and whenever I take the puppies out, she comes out. Even if I have to go inside for something, she'll stay with them to make sure they're okay. And she watches over them as if they were her own litter. And of course, then she engages with them, which is a big part of teaching them how to play. Just talking about diet, they are on puppy food now. I usually make the change over to puppy food somewhere about 7.5 to 8 weeks old. And these puppies adapted to it very nicely. They're eating extremely well. And they're now each getting about a 1/4 cup of puppy food 3 times a day. That's dry food, and that's also covered with hot water so that it softens the kibble, makes it a little more palatable, makes it a little bit more digestible. And I've had a few comments from people on my YouTube channel asking about dry food. Why dry food? Is that the best thing? We find that it's very very good. First of all, it's convenient for us when you have a large number of dogs to feed. Keeping wet foods or fresh foods on hand can become very cumbersome. And as long as you find a good, nutritionally balanced food, the fact that it's dry food, I don't think makes any difference. We've done very, very well over the years feeding our puppies dry food. Just to give you a little contrast, there was a point a few years ago where we decided that we were going to feed raw food, which is a very good natural diet for dogs. And we found a butcher who would grind up the meat and bones with vegetables and freeze them in 2-pound packs for us. And we would go to the butcher and we would get 100 pounds at a time. We actually bought a separate freezer to store the raw food for the dogs. And we found a couple of things about it. First of all, it did not produce the results with better coat the way some people say it does. Secondly, nutritionally, it didn't seem to be doing anything more beneficial for our dogs than the good quality kibble does. And third, it needed the addition of grain. Now, a lot of people, there's a big trend toward grain-free foods right now, but there are studies that show that there may very well be in fact, there is definitely a statistical correlation between grain-free diets and cardiomyopathy, that's a heart problem that develops later in life with the dogs. Whether it's a causal relationship or not, as far as I know, has not yet been determined, but it's definitely a statistical correlation. So my recommendation is always to not use grain-free foods unless your dog has a proven grain allergy. Well, enough teaching for today. I hope everybody enjoyed watching the puppies play with their Aunt Bootsy while I was talking there. And, oh, Jamba. Hey, Jamba. He was just looking right over this way. Anyway, Jamba. Whoop, there he goes. So, hope everybody's doing well. Oh, and looking at the green reminds me today, when this was recorded, is March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day.